this is my heart's desire and my prayer for this year. I've kind of written it down as prayers, and I want you to join me as I pray this verse in a practical way for us here at Cast. I pray that grace and peace be multiplied at Cast and to you. I pray that the knowledge of God will overwhelm Cast and overwhelm you. I pray that we all will tap into His divine power in all areas of Cast and our everyday lives. I pray that all at Cast will honor our call to His glory and excellence. And if you've been at Cast long, you've heard that so many times. That's our call, is to teach the children to use their gifts to bring glory to the Lord and also do it with excellence. I pray we all at Cast will embrace our divine nature that God has granted us in His grace. I pray we will encourage each Cast student this year through the teaching of the creative arts to, and this is where we start our add-ons, by adding to their faith. That's our bottom line. That's where we start, and that's our faith in Jesus Christ. Faith, by adding to our faith, virtue. And at Cast, we think virtue means goodness. I want to encourage simple goodness to our children. Then we're going to add to virtue, we're going to add knowledge. And how I define knowledge in this way is to know God and to know His power. I want the children to see God's power and his knowledge. We're going to add to knowledge self-control. I'm sure you're with me on this. This is what we desire for our children. But we, here at Cast, I'm kind of narrowing in on self-control being helping them to manage their God-given emotions. God gave our children emotions. And how can we teach them to control them, right? We're going to add to self-control, or we're commanded to add to our self-control steadfastness. And that means don't give up. Don't give up, even when it's hard, even when you don't want to stand up in front of everybody and say that line. And we're right there at the beginning of our school year, and we're putting our toe into kids saying things by themselves in front of people, and some of them are so fearful. I want to teach them steadfastness. Don't give up. Try it. Try it. I saw this happen before my eyes this past week. I had intermediates who were giving this short little speech. And this mom might be in here, but I had one young lady who just broke down. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. She was so nervous that she just didn't feel like she could do it. All the kids in the classroom were like, "You can do it. You can do it. You can do it." "No, I can't do it. I can't do it." All the students, I didn't even tell them to do this. They all turned around and said, "You can do it. We'll all turn around so we're not looking at you." They all turned around. I had one girl that had already gone to that student as she was sitting there crying, had already gone, put her arm around her and saying, "You can do this, you can do this." Well, that student ended up, she didn't even know her, but ended up coming up to here with her. And then everybody turned around, and I walked up and I stood right in front of her. So I was kind of standing between her and the kids behind me. And she started, and then she broke down. And everybody said, they weren't watching, but they were like, "You can do it. You can do it." She broke into it again, and she had memorized the entire thing. and she said the entire thing from memory. It was a whole paragraph. And then when it was over, she was so proud of herself that she had accomplished that. She didn't give up. And that was our second day of class, that we were able to encourage them. Let's add to our faith. Let's add to this steadfastness that means you will not give up. And then we're going to add to steadfastness, we're going to add godliness. Or that's my desire, for them to add godliness. And obviously, godliness is the qualities of God. And that is a long list. But we are going to try to, and that's the uniqueness of CAST. We basically use creative arts education as a way to build into your students these qualities. We just use a curriculum called a play to do that. And so that's how we plan to do some of these things. So we've added to our steadfastness, godliness. Now it requires for us to add to our godliness, brotherly affection. And this kind of goes back to just being kind to each other. Brotherly affection. I saw brotherly affection when I saw that student go over to that crying student and put their arm around them without being prompted by a teacher and say, "You can do this." I saw brotherly affection there. And then to finish this off, it says, add to your brotherly affection love. Now, sometimes you think brotherly affection is love, but the true meaning of love here is a pure, willful, sacrificial love that intentionally desires another's highest good. That's love. And all of us that are in relationships and have lived long enough, you realize that true love is self-denial. It is thinking of others. It is taking their needs before your own. If you have a husband, if you're living in a husband-wife relationship, you know that's how you make it work. If you're with your children, I think it's easier for us as moms and dads. That kind of love comes a little bit natural. You think of your children before yourself. But when it comes to outside people, that's a challenge for us, right? And so that's something that I want to make sure we do here at CAST. And then the last thing is, I pray CAST will be effective and fruitful. You know, what a wonderful year we will have if we are daily adding these wonderful qualities to our lives, and we are daily challenging our students to add these qualities to their life. My challenge to the teachers before we started school was a statement where I said, I want CAST to be a place where love and learning embrace. Yes, I want them to learn. I want them to learn through the safe environment of a loving environment. I want you as parents, when you come in this building, and this is not something that I can conjure up. This is something only the Holy Spirit can create, and that is you feel a sense of love in this place. And that is our focus. That's the tip of our arrow this year, is loving each other and showing that love, teaching our children to love each other. So that's our challenge. That's not a unusual challenge. That's not a challenge that you've never heard before, but as a school, that's where we're trying to go this year. So let's talk about this coming year and what, because I don't want to keep you too long this morning, but I want you to get all the information that you'll need to make you prepared to help you be prepared and know what in the world is going on and what have I got myself into here at Cast. I want to tell you, I kind of will go down the list real quick and then we'll go through those one at a time, but I can't wait to tell you about our new venue when that is going to be a wonderful thing. At least 3 out of our 4 shows are at one venue, and then we do have a fourth venue, or a venue for our 4th show, so I'm excited to tell you about that as well. I want to I'm going to touch on certain highlights for each show just to give you an idea. This is what to expect, but we're not going to expect for you to have all the information for that show. More information for the shows will come closer to when we get to those shows, and I will some of that will be given to you today. I also want to introduce you to some people that I say need to be your best friend because they have all the answers. And I will be introducing you to those ladies, and one of them will be coming up and talking to you and giving you more information as well. And then we are giving you information, and then you're going to give us some information. We're going to ask for you to fill out a card that will kind of be your volunteer card, and you're going to check some boxes. Yeah, maybe I could help here, and yeah, I could help here, because like I said at the beginning, we can't do this kind of thing without without parental participation. So let's talk for a second about our new venue. I'm excited to tell you that this year we have confirmed a venue, and our first 3 shows will be at the Center for the Arts at River Ridge. The screen behind me shows you the stage. It's a beautiful stage, a large stage with incredible projections on either side, and a possibility of a projection right in the center, which I am so excited about using. Yeah, it's going to be a new challenge for me. Also, it's stadium seating, so the seats will be really nice and you won't be behind somebody, or so that will be nice. And that auditorium seats almost 800 people. So we have all the opportunity to let everybody come to these shows. So that is an amazing thing. And the lighting and sound here are on a professional level. So I am excited about that as well. So this is a great opportunity. This is a place that I think it could be a really good marriage for Cast, and a place they desire for us for this to be a long-term situation. We haven't promised that to them. I said, let's do 1 year. Let's see what it looks like and how we run with this. But it's an amazing thing how God brings things together. We had worked and worked and worked and worked to look for a venue. The girls here had done so much work, and I saw it came across my desk, someplace where they had looked into, and I was like, I think I know that guy. So I took his name and I emailed him and I said, hey, are you so-and-so? Because I think I know you from a past church, and I think we worked together, da-da-da. And he came back and he goes, yes, I know you too. And all of a sudden we started talking. We actually got to talk to a person, and he then was like, I would love for y'all to come here. And so it's a God thing, absolutely a God thing. So I'm excited about that. Next thing, let me just mention to you about a fundraiser. You know, here at Cast, all of our expenses cannot come from our tuition. I can't make that tuition high enough because I want you all to be able to do this, you know. And so we basically start a year knowing we're upside down. That's scary, but I also know that God has called us to do this, and where God leads, He provides, and I've seen that over the years. But we also have to be faithful in kind of making that happen. Last year, we did some fundraisers, and they worked for us, but I'm kind of sorry to tell you this, but this year we are not going to be selling anything. I'm sorry. Right? All of you are saying inside, yes. Okay, but you're not off the hook. Let me tell you. We're just going to do it in a different way. We did kind of 2 different fundraisers last year. One was the cards, and, can I just say thank you? What we figured out once we got into that was it was just people donating. It was just people, I know. It was just people saying, I believe in what you're doing, right? So, and then the other type of the fundraiser we did last year was sponsorship for the show. Actually, we only really targeted the first show, and through sponsorship for the first show, we raised $32,000 just for sponsorship. So with that knowledge of both of those things, I felt like the Lord was saying this year, let's tap into those who want to and desire to help us continue to do what we do, simply because we are doing something wonderful and positive for these children. So this year, basically, we are going to focus on sponsorships. The elementary will be raising sponsorships for their show. The intermediate will be raising sponsorships for their show. And the high school will be raising sponsorships for their show. So we've got those actually, I think you got those in your hand when you came in. We're going to talk about those and let you know about those a little bit later, more in detail. But you'll see 3 levels there, but those are just the upper levels, but every $20 helps. So we will be talking about that as well and how we can make that work. My desire, and I didn't actually say this last night, but my desire is this brick wall, sort of faux brick wall that's outside here at the end of the hallway. I would love for that to be the sponsorship wall, and a place where we honor and put names up of those that are sponsoring us, organizations that are sponsoring us, businesses that are sponsoring us. So our children, when they come in the hall, they know those people care about them. Those people are willing to put some money down to say, we believe in what you're doing, you go for this. So that's our desire, and we'll give you a little bit more information about that. So our first show that's coming right out of the chute is our high school show called Footloose. Now, if you've been around any time, you've probably heard of this show, as well as I've heard of this show and have heard of it for years. I always used to look at this show and go, oh, I love that dancing. I love that music. That's going to be so fun. And then I would watch it, and I'd be like, well, Cass can't do that. No, that is not a Cass show, But a really cool thing happened a few years ago, and a youth edition was authorized. And when I read this script, I was like, oh, all the cussing's gone. That's good. That's awesome. Great. And even some scenes and some songs that I thought, what in the world? How am I going to do that? They've already taken them out because they realized that young children couldn't do them. But we plan to do this with our high school. The songs are all there, and so we will be able to make this a beautiful high school show that will be clean. And that is kind of what we all are about here. So I'm looking forward to that. This show is November 19th, 20th, and 21st. You're going to get some papers that kind of will give these dates, but let me stop right here and say this. On our website, we have a calendar that has everything on it. So use that calendar. We used to give out, save the dates and all of that. Now it's like, go to the calendar and just check that out. If you're going to you're planning a vacation, go and find out exactly when our spring break is or whatever. So that's all that information's on there. And as soon as we confirm things, we put them on there too. Everything that's on there right now is confirmed dates. Maybe not the times exactly, but they are on there. This first show, Footloose, is challenging because we're going into a brand new venue on Thursday and opening on Friday night with 2 casts. Or I think 2 casts. I should back up. We're doing auditions. We're still in the middle of auditions. That's what I'm hoping for. But so you can see how challenging that will be. So we will go in like a machine, being super prepared to put our set up, and then the same day we're programming lights. We are setting the microphones. So it is going to be a challenging, fun experience. We'll bring the kids in on Friday morning. We'll do 2 dress rehearsals, possibly. We may do this schedule a little bit different, but then we're going to open on Friday night. We'll have a Friday night show, 2 shows on Saturday, and we'll end this run on a Sunday night show, which is a little different for us. But so that is our show, Footloose. Tickets go on sale for this on October the 18th. So make sure you look in on that so you are right there when those tickets go on sale. Our second show is Intermediate. This show is in January. Now, January is a little bit early for us for intermediates, and it wasn't my first choice, but when we sat down with River Ridge, he said, "This is the date I have," and I said, "It's perfect." So we're going to make it work. Some people were saying, "What are you going to do with those intermediates after this show?" We're going to teach them drama, music, and dance. We're going to keep teaching them, and it will be a wonderful, fun experience for them. I'm going to do like a series of workshops. I'm going to get these kids ready to go up to high school. I'm going to get them ready to do their show next year. We're going to help them and make them better actors and singers and dancers. So we're just going to have a different curriculum. It won't be Flapper, but it will be another, a curriculum that does the same thing. Speaking of Flapper, a little bit about that show. It is a musical romp through the 1920s. A lot of fun characters. This is a show that I'm familiar with. I have produced before. I've produced it with high school students before, so it's a challenging script. You may not have heard about it or heard of it, but your children are going to love it and be challenged by it. So I look forward to all the aspects of that show. Those tickets go on sale October 18th. So, that goes on December 14th. I looked down, sorry. So these shows are going to be the 14th and 15th of January. The particulars of who's performing, when, we are just going to put 4 shows in those 2 days. So 2 matinees and 2 evening shows. And all of that is dependent upon casting and what show they're in. If you are an intermediate parent, you already kind of know that. And so that information will get out to you. Also, Jazz 1, 2, and 3 performs in this class. And so those exact times after casting will be told you about who is in what show. Okay, let's move on. Elementary and early elementary. Most of you know after this and just this week, possibly even just yesterday, you got an email. But there was things that was brought to me, and after and we pushed pause and we went before the Lord, and we were like, most important thing to me is that your name, God's name, and that the Bible are foremost respected, obviously, to me. And so I had some hesitation on that. The teachers, we all got together. We looked at it. Although we didn't feel that way, but we felt like it was worthy of making a change. And I just want you to know that it wasn't a convenient change, but it was a necessary change, and I am okay with that. So we are doing a different show, and I'm excited to tell you that we are doing Charlotte's Web. This is a show that makes me happy, and so I am excited about doing this show with our children. I will talk to them this week about it, and I think it's going to be a wonderful and perfect show for our elementary. Now, these dates are March 14th through 19th. This is spring break for our, for sure, Hillsborough County and Pasco too, which helps us at the venue because this venue is at a school, and so we'll have the place to ourselves. So that is going to be awesome for our elementary because I bring a bunch of kids to that setting. So it will be really nice to kind of have the place to ourselves. We have the band room that we normally wouldn't have because there would be classes going on. We'll be able to use that area. So it's this date, this time is on purpose, and we were thrilled that they had that available for us. Tickets for that go on sale February the 18th. And our last show, is a big one. It's a big show, Mary Poppins. People around here know when Misty Armin says, I'll never do that show again, you can guarantee we'll probably do it again. Because this was one of those shows that was like, oh, that was a hard show. I will never do Mary Poppins again. But, when you make a decision for what is best for the students that you have, when I looked at them, this incredible bunch of musical theater kids, I was like, Mary Poppins is really a good show for them. It allows a lot of students to be highlighted, and so I'm thrilled that we are doing this show. Let me mention to you, this is a great show to bring the entire family to, as well as Footloose and all the other shows, but support your elementary, helping them and support their high school. I love when elementary brings their children to high school shows because those kids get to see that's what I'm going to do one of these days, and many times they go home and they say that very thing. So let them see what their future looks like by bringing them to some of these shows. So now I want to tell you about the venue that we will be using for Mary Poppins. This venue is called the Instructional Performing Arts Center up in Wesley Chapel. The picture behind you shows you this. This is a brand new theater, spanking new. It's on Old Pasco Road up in Wesley Chapel, or some of you may be familiar with this area up there. I personally haven't even gone to it yet. It is open and they are working. They're still tweaking some of the things in the theater, so I'm hoping they'll have all that figured out by May for me. So this auditorium seats about 440, so not as big. The stage is pretty much as big. I think it'll be a great place for us to house Mary Poppins. This is, we do have, these dates are a little bit up in the air. We have confirmed with them May 6th and 7th. That date is available. We are asking for possibility of the dates of the 29th and 30th. They are looking into it, and they will get back with us. We took the 6th and the 7th because that's going to work if we can't get the 29th and 30th. So look for the information here. They've told us that we should know within the next week. So that would be our information there. All intermediate level dance classes will be in this show. This includes jazz, tap, and ballet. If I hit a pause right here, if I can go back to elementary. The elementary show, most of our younger dance classes, pre-dance, combo, ballet 3, point prep, are performing in Charlotte's Web. Okay, I didn't tell you that. None of that has changed, even with the title change. So tickets for Mary Poppins go on sale April 6th, unless we get that week ahead, and then we'll bump that up as well. Okay. All right. So that's the highlights of our 4 shows this year. Let me real quick, I'm going to give you some general information about classes and what you need to know. If you listen fast, I'm going to talk fast. We encourage the students to be on time for their classes. Every class is scheduled out. They go to music, they go to dance, they go to drama, and if they miss 15 minutes, they may miss a complete session, of some sort. So just make sure, as best you can, be on time. Some of you have conflicts because of them getting out of school, but most of the time we know that, and we're waiting for that one student to come running in here, 2 or 3 minutes late, and I'm totally okay with that if we know that. If you don't have that, try to plan ahead. Please label all of their personal items, such as shoes and water bottles and scripts and jackets. Our lost and found is a nightmare. Just make sure you try to write their name on it. I say if their name is on it, then it goes into a special place. And that special place, we'll get it back to the kids. If their name is not on it, it also goes in a special place. It's called a black hole. But we keep our piles and piles of shoes and leftovers and all that stuff. We don't throw them away soon, but after a long time they get donated. So make sure that your names and stuff are on it. The other day I walked through the hallway and one jazz shoe, brand spanking new jazz shoe, and I thought, oh, that parent's going to be going, where's that one jazz shoe? I just bought these shoes for you. Well, I just want you to know we have it. It's here. Yeah, it's flip-flops just don't work for musical theater, okay? We will talk about shoes in just a minute, but just know that is not really a good option, so make sure they are, you clue into what shoes they need to have for classes. Girls are asked to wear modest clothing, girls and guys. This needs to be appropriate for class and appropriate for choreography, and sometimes they do cartwheels, and many times their hands go way up, and so little cut-off shirts don't really work for that kind of thing. So help me with making sure you take a second look at your student before they go out the door, because it's like, athletic working out. They need to wear something comfortable, but something modest. They are working hand in hand, boys and girls, all together. Make sure it's just modest, and just help me out with that. I appreciate it. No gum. It's hard to teach a musical theater with gum in their mouth, so no gum. Preferably no gum on campus. That would be great. Phones are only allowed when they are using them for a specific purpose. We've found that sometimes they can record something, and that helps. Most of the time, the best place for them will be in their bags in the hallway. But if they have them, they can use them in a positive way. On social media, nothing like that needs to happen during class time. Real quick, I'll talk about discipline here at CAST. We believe that the parent is the number one disciplinarian in the home. As here at CAST, when I have your children and the other teachers, our first method of discipline is a verbal reprimand, if you will, correction. Most of the time, that's all it takes. If this continues and they just don't seem to be listening to us, then our next step is just you and contacting you and saying, hey, we're having this trouble. So then you have the conversation with them at home. Most of the time that works. But if it continues and it continues and continues, the next step is like I have the parent come in with the child. They don't like that. So we don't have to do that very often. Sometimes just being a threat is good enough for them, but that's basically our very simple disciplinary actions here at CAST. I don't like that side of it, and so most of the time I just kind of shovel it right back into your lap. We do ask the students to respect the teachers, which we don't normally have any problem with that, and also to respect the building. We have some 450 students that come through CAST every week. So this building gets used. So picking up after themselves, not leaving their lunch or their snacks different places. We want exactly what you want. So if you help us with that, that will be great. All right, now I want to introduce you to the ladies that I told you need to be your best friend. The first girl that I want to introduce you to, if you've been at CAST for any time, you have seen her because she's kind of just in charge of everything, and that's Miss Kim Perot. Kim is our managing director here at CAST. She manages, like I said, pretty much everything. This year we've decided to add someone to our staff that will help Kim, and we've divided out some of those management areas. And this girl is not new to CAST, but it's kind of new to this position, and this position is new to CAST. So I want to introduce you to Jill Maeda. So let me kind of tell you how we divided these management areas out. Basically, Kim is our school manager, and Jill is our show manager. So everything to do with school, such as classrooms, class schedules, registration, billing, schedules that have to do with the classroom, that goes all under Miss Kim Perot. She also has office assistant Kimberly Craig. We like to keep you, a little bit guessing, but I often say if you talk to Kim, you're fine. One of the Kims will work. So how we've divided this too is now everything to do with shows is under Jill, and that has to do with costuming and set, production week schedules, our venues, and volunteers, and all things show related are under Jill. So it's already shown to be helpful for us, and so this has, we're hoping that this will help you as well as help me and help CAST run a little bit smoother. So I'm going to ask Jill. She's going to come up and give you some more information.
So I'm very excited. Like she said, this is a new position. We kind of talked through how it was going to work. I love puzzles and figuring things out, and my biggest goal for this year is to make sure that production weeks are a positive experience for everyone involved. The teachers, the students, the venue, tech, everybody leaves production week going, man, that was amazing. That was like not stressful at all. The kids had so much fun. We love it. So there's a joke in theater that I'm sorry for the things I said during tech week, and we don't we don't want any t-shirts with that. We want to have like a happy production week. So anyway, so that's what my goal is this year. With that, I am going to let you know, hopefully this is helpful, pretty soon after casting, I am going to give you the production week schedule, and she said, wow, and the volunteer spot. So the volunteer spot, if you're new, is an online sign up for things that we need either pre-production or during production week. So the production week schedule, I'll start there. We'll have every time slot that your student needs to be at River Ridge or IPAC, when they need to be there, how long they're going to be there, when they need to be picked up, what they need to bring with them, water, whatever. So you're going to look at that as soon as it comes out and see if you have any conflicts. First thing you're going to do if you have a conflict is try to change it. And then if it is a giant conflict and just cannot, then you're going to come to me and let me know so we can work through it before it becomes an emergency situation and we're all crying because your kid can't go on stage. Nobody wants that. No stress. So look at that when that comes out. Those should be going out September. So like I said, very quickly after casting. And then same with the volunteer spot. You'll get a sign up, you just click on the link and you'll see all of our needs and it will be show specific. So if you have elementary, you will be getting an elementary one, if it's intermediate, and so on and so on. So sorry for the people that have 3 kids. So for elementary, you'll click on it and it will show what we need. With these venues, there's not a lot of parent needs that week of production week. The biggest need, honestly, is meals. We have scheduled to be there 12, which we all know turns into 13 and 14-hour days and can't leave. So just blessing the staff with a meal is so incredibly important because hunger is a real thing. And so that will be one of the main things. I actually do have everybody's likes, dislikes, allergies, everything like that. So that will all be on there as well to make it a little easier. But there occasionally are things that pop up, maybe a little help cleaning up the dressing rooms or whatever it may be. Nothing is going to require a super high skill set, and nothing is going to take any longer than 30 minutes to an hour, very rarely, for production week. For production weekend then, the needs would be concession help. We have concession coordinators for the year, but helping sell and set up concession and things like that. Usher for the front, just handing out programs, little things like that. So if there is a spot that does not allow you to watch that particular show, it will be notated. So if your student is in a nighttime show and you can't watch that, you probably want to sign up for the matinee show to volunteer. Very few of those, but they are notated on that spot. So, okay, the pre-production meetings, where if you're new, absolutely you want to be here. Those are done approximately 3 weeks before a show, and we will go through everything. And you can ask specific child-related questions if you have them. How do we do hair, makeup, who is she on Friday night, whatever. That is going to be the time to do that because I'll actually have a lot of answers by then. So that's kind of why they're a little closer to shows. So these are going to be going out in an email and they are on the calendar, but really quick, Footloose coming up first on November 1st. These are all class time, by the way. Flapper is next on December 14th. Charlotte's Web is on February 23rd for the drama class and February 24th for the dance classes. And then Mary Poppins is April 11th. And again, the times are on the calendar. I was just shown on your phone, though, on the calendar. You do actually have to click on the date that you're looking at for it to show everything on there. So just know that. It is slightly darker red if there are events on that day. It's very, for my old eyes, it's a little harder to see, but if you kind of expand your screen, you can see that there is a little bit of a darker red color on the days where there's an event going on. So just know that for the calendar. Okay, sponsor form. So Sharon went into this and did say, this is vital to the life of the school because we do go in upside down. So our goal, we need to have $40,000 for the year, total. We need it. We have to have it. So our goal, obviously, with 4 shows is that each show would be approximately $10,000. So we've divided these up per class, and the pictures on the back are from last year's shows that from high school or intermediate or elementary, so it's kind of cute. But these, we did have this last year. The levels were a little bit different. So really quick, you can all read. The show sponsor is 5,000 plus. Those are obviously, or mostly corporate. So the I guess things that they get in for doing it are more corporation type stuff, advertising and things like that. The next level would be 1,000. That's your star sponsor. And again, it tells you down there what they would get. And then the new one is Friends of Cast. And that is 500 plus, and that is just what it says, Friends of Cast. The thought behind that is, I don't own a business or have a corporate, whatever, but I love Cast and I'm a friend. So I'm gonna, that's a little bit more affordable for friends and family, grandparents, uncles, or aunts, just to kind of help out their family member, the show. So, or friend or whoever. So that is new. On the back, it gives you instructions on how to have your friend or corporation contact us and to get sponsored. The website is the best place to go because they literally fill out a form, pop in their logo, they're done. Like, they love that. It's super easy. They can even pay online or they can mail a check. So, okay, moving on to your stapled form. And again, you're all adults, you can all read, so I'm going to touch on stuff. Set construction. If Leslie Bulow can stand up. This is Leslie. Hi, Leslie. She is doing all of the set production this year for all of the shows. So she is going to absolutely need some help from everyone. There will be various work days throughout the year on Saturdays. Also, she will be here on campus certain days. The way she's working it is she is going to kind of poll the audience and come up with days that work for the majority of the people, and then work her schedule around you guys. So that's awesome. And then also there are plenty of jobs that she's going to make kits, and you can take them home. So recognizing that not everybody can be here, or you just want to be home, that's fine. You could say some in the garage, some even inside watching a show or whatever. So when the second half of the meeting is leaving this room, and you're going to want to remember Leslie if you have any interest in set, painting, building. So if you like Legos, go with her. All right, and then the next half of our production kind of side is costumes. So I'm going to introduce you to the 3 costume coordinators. For high school, Lori Stein is doing both Footloose and Mary Poppins. She's going to be very busy. And then Michelle Roberson is our intermediate, so she has Flapper. When she came on, it was only 1 class, and now it's 2. So, and then Jacqueline York is taking on elementary and early elementary. And also, if there are any dance classes in there, she does help coordinate all that too. So it's a big job. Lots of kids, lots of costumes, lots of growing kids throughout the year from the time you measure them to the time of show. So definitely need volunteers here as well. Again, no skill set to the highest skill set. Jacqueline actually said she started going in the costume room and not even know what a serger is. I didn't know what it is either. It actually makes the little cuff on the end of clothes, and then it's like a clean line. So, and now she's coordinating all of elementary. So you can start there. Or if you're like, I've always wanted to learn how to sew or use a sewing machine, they'll teach you. So, I mean, you're gonna have to like make costumes for Cast, but they'll teach you. So this is a great, and it's fun. It's fun. They're both just fun places to work. Leslie's awesome. These ladies are awesome. They're fun to talk to. You can kind of talk and work and be blessed, and it's a great place to volunteer. So same thing with all of the shows there. There will be times that you'd be needed in the costume room if you can. If you can't do that, there are things that you can take home. And all that. 4 costumes for what we require from the parents. There should be a graphic for shoes. Sharon talked about everybody has to supply shoes. There's just, they just do. So the jazz shoe that's up here is the preferred one because there's no laces. But if you already bought the one with laces, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a little easier so they're not stopping and tying and things like that. So the jazz shoe's there. The high school boys need these kind of tap shoes. That's what they look like. And then the high school girls need that character shoe. Some of the character shoes have a T-strap if they're like below a certain size, and that's fine too, for the tiny feeders. So that's fine. But those are, and anytime we have any show where they're not wearing these dance shoes, again, those would be provided by the parent as well. So Footloose will be a big one for that. It will be different kind of shoes. So probably the students already have the shoes, so don't worry, but yes. So let's see.
Sometimes there's character-specific.
Yes, and it can happen in elementary and intermediate. If there's a specific character that would, this would be so cool if they wore Converse, then we need Converse and you need to get them. So the other thing that you need to remember for all of the students will need proper undergarments as well, and that is just a simple. They're called skins because they're usually skin color, but if you white is fine or black is fine if you, or light gray really. We don't want anything to show underneath the costume. It's usually just for boys a tighter fitting t-shirt and compression shorts, and then for girls appropriate length kind of bike shorts, and then usually they do a camisole. So, and that is just under everything. They're not going to be walking out in those anywhere, so you know what I mean, just know that. But if there is a quick costume change and we kind of need to put them in, you know, a curtain behind somewhere, it's just another level of modesty. That's just, if any of your kids are thinking of going into theater, that is a standard across the board. So.
And that bottom layer is where we place microphones.
Yes.
So we have to have that to put their microphones on them, and then they go back to the costume room.
And put the rest of their costume over top of it. So there's time when they kind of are out, but not really public. It's just in front of the people that are helping them with their microphone.
And some of them bring a robe or a button-up shirt or something like that if they want, if they're more comfortable. That's actually encouraged. So, okay, so dance costume. Your dance costume is ordered in-house, and you've already paid for that with your registration fee. Most of the time, there's little accessories that will need to be made. We will be asking for each dance class to kind of have a dance accessory coordinator, mom or dad or grandma or whoever, like a hat or a scarf or whatever needs to go with that particular costume, even if everyone is making individually their own, just somebody that can kind of oversee that. And then, let's see, I think I touched on everything with shoes. So, yes, so now I'm going to move on to communication. This is means of communication. So this is one way we're communicating, but this is the only all-school corporate meeting we're gonna have for this year. I gave you pre-production week meetings, and that is show specific, but this is it as far as, you know, we're not gonna keep making you come in and listen to us talk. So the main way you're gonna hear from us is email. Okay, the main way. If you have not gotten email, if you did not get an email yesterday regarding elementary show change, please see Kim, because that one did go to the entire school, so we would know we have a problem. So if you're not getting emails from us, we need to know, because that is 100% the way we communicate. So weekly updates go out every Sunday evening. That's just, there will be important information for the week and things like that, but it's an update. So make sure you read those though, because a lot of people kind of just skim them and then have missed something important for that week. So if you skim like thoroughly. Another way is the portal. When we say go to the portal, we're not talking about the multiverse. You are going to the website and then going to the button that says portals and then your class. So there's an actual parent portal that's going to have everything we talked about today, various things that are the sponsor card in an emailable form, things like that. And then like the high school portal, for instance, had callback information because they're going through callbacks right now. Intermediate after Tuesday will have audition information for them and how to do that and how to upload and things like that. So those are there is a dance portal as well. Those are very, very, very important portals to get into. And then texting is another way that we use. These are more quick announcements. You all probably got one this morning about the parent meeting at 10 o'clock. If the text comes from a 5-digit number, you probably have all figured out you can't respond to that because it's not a phone number. Occasionally there will be a text that comes from a phone number, and those you can reply to. And those are more ones like we're expecting a little bit of a question or something. Maybe if I've changed, very rarely does this happen, but if there's, we need somebody, this group, 30 minutes early, production week, I will text that in a way that you can respond and say, if you for some reason can't get there or running late or whatever. So that's kind of the difference. Facebook, the groups are up here as far as how they're listed. So if you want to find us and ask for admittance, I guess is the word, then we'll make sure you're part of CAST and approve you. But Facebook is more of a communication kind of among parents. We don't really use that for anything business related. It would definitely be a marketing thing. We'll share events like the show events or anything like that. We have a workshop coming up that I actually just shared this morning into the group. Skeletons of Skin, it's next Thursday. So that's what that's for. But you guys can kind of talk. It's like during registration, that's actually hilarious to watch because everybody's like, may the odds be ever in your favor. It's like really, so just know that you don't have to go on those. You're not gonna miss anything if you're not on Facebook. So don't worry about that. High school, the kids, it kind of was, we did it because a lot of the kids were in there. Now we're again on a trend where that's not, Facebook is for old people. So I don't know, we can't kind of keep up with them. So really, but the high school students do get texts as well. They signed up for that.
Can I just add, some parent initiated, like Sherry initiated prayer for the high school
Yes.
class during auditions. She put that on the high school Facebook page so the parents were aware and they came and prayed. So
Yeah.
it's kind of for you to have a community.
Yeah. So with that, make sure your parent participation form is mostly filled out. If you're on the fence and kind of want to check out both, I understand. Just before you leave for today, then please make sure that we have that. Sharon's going to come up and share the final piece for the year, and then we're going to separate. If you are wanting to help with sets and hear more about that, you're going to go out this door and to your left all the way downstairs to the shop. And if you're wanting to hear about costumes, you're going to head out that door and go around to the costume room. And then even if you are going into one and you've never seen either, check it out because they're really cool. So
This is a kind of a way for you too to see what's going on. Some of you maybe have never been down to our warehouse, never been down to the shop. So even if you go into the costume room and you want to afterwards come down, take a little tour, now's the time to do that. I just want to really encourage you, find your place, and this meeting is to help you find your place. We've kind of divided them into two big areas. There are other needs, yes, but these are our two big ones. So we ask you just to find a place in one of these two things, and even if you're like, I'm really more love the administrative things, there are administrative needs within these two things too. So just kind of pick one of them, go and hear what these leaders have to say to you, and that'll be great. One thing I didn't do, how many of you are brand new to CAST? Raise your hand. Woohoo, let's give them a hand. Welcome. I just hope that you find CAST a loving place, like I mentioned in my talk at the beginning, and a place that makes you feel at home. And I know right now we're throwing a lot of information out at you, but most of the other parents that are here have been where you are, so they know this is a lot of information and they can help you with that. So find somebody that knows what they've done this before, and they can kind of give you the ropes. These 4 P's are something that I I've used for many, many years, and so nothing is going to be new to a lot of you. But first, we ask you to make CAST a matter of prayer. Pray for God to supply our financial needs. Pray for CAST to impact lives, and that CAST will follow God's leadership in all matters. I need your help. Sometimes I'm over my head, and I need God's wisdom, and I need your prayers for that to continue. So I need your prayers. I need you to plan. This is the beginning of the year. We have tried real hard to plan for you. So now we're kind of giving you the reins to plan with us. Use the dates. Use the information we've given you. Put it on your home schedule, your home calendar, and plan with us. Being positive always helps. We talked about production week, and it's hard, but being positive sure helps. So even going out of this meeting, like, that was a lot, but we're going to be positive. And then the last thing that you see up there is parental participation, and you're gonna do the first step in that in just a second by participating in one of 2 meetings. And I just really appreciate you being here, taking the time to do this. You're not going to have to sit down in front of a computer and watch me do it from a video. So this was a great way to come and get all this information. Thank you for allowing CAST to be a part of your child's education. Thank you for trusting us with your children. And I just pray that God receives the glory for everything that happens this year.